be
pride.
two different
There's
things.
two different types of pride there.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that you know the difference.
Yeah.
There's pride, in wanting to be somebody else. That's more like the covetous pride,
Yeah.
Wanting something somebody else has got. And you
Right.
just can't, it's hard for you to get it if you ain't got the
Right.
situation they got.
Yes, sir.
We're in a different situation, different atmosphere than what they are.
And we don't know what kind of pain or heartache they're going through trying to do what you think. When you see them with something,
Yeah.
you're thinking, boy,
They got it made.
You don't know how
I've seen people, I've said they've got it made. Then they'd come and want to talk to me about some stuff,
Yeah.
I found out they didn't have it made, but I'll never tell nobody what they told me. We don't do that.
Right.
Me and you, neither one.
No.
If somebody tells us something, we never tell somebody else. I told them a little story a while ago about the girl, but I never told you who she was.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't care to tell you who she was. She wouldn't care either because she's in heaven now.
Yeah.
She ain't worried about this.
Let's see, when you give advice, and look at things. So when we look at things, if you could tell young Charlie, we're talking about family and parenting.
Yeah.
What would you tell him?
Well, I always tried, and when I was raising Charlie, he always went to church. Mm-hmm. Started playing the piano when he was 4 years old.
Right.
I mean, really, that's a miracle. I mean, I haven't, he's never given me 1 minute's problem. I'd have to say that,
Yeah.
And that's a lot better than I done my mom and dad.
Right.
I went groundhog hunting on Sunday.
Right.
But Charlie never did, and it just, but, I tried to just, I done the best I could with him. I done better with him. But me, I would have, once when I was going to church, I studied. I still go, but when I first started, that's what I meant to say. I studied and studied and studied, but it took me a while to get there. I mean,
Yes, sir. So I think there's challenges that we all have that we look back on and think, well, I could have done this a little bit better.
Yeah.
I could have been a better parent here. I could have spent more time there. I could have, I don't know. I think about a lot of stuff like that. And then sometimes you say, I've done exactly what I set out to do. I was as good as I could have been, and that was it. That's okay.
My desire, when I first got saved, started preaching, my desire was to build a church. That was my desire.
Mm-hmm.
I was 21 years old then when I started like that.
Right.
Okay, so I found a piece of ground. I've preached about 2 years, and I had a little church over upside the Fort Lane Webb Chapel over past if you went toward Grundy. That's where I started preaching at. I was 21 years old. Well, I preached before that, but that's where I started pastoring when I was 21. Well, I want to build a church. That was my desire.
Yeah.
I wanted to build it. And found some ground, went to the bank, and the banker told me, said she'd let me have the money to buy the land with. And then we got the land, and we started the church and all this stuff, There at Port 20 Tabernacle was at Raven. That was the church I started, and I built it. But, that was my desire, John. And I look back and, no matter what's happened, no matter what happened to me, and it don't matter to me now. I mean, what happened to me. But to see that go on, and it's been going on for 50 years.
Yeah.
To see that work keep going.
Yeah.
That's what life is.
Exactly.
That's life. That's it.
And
it's still going.
Legacy going on. Things going on like that.
I mean, nobody probably, a lot of them going there probably don't even know that I built it. But I spent an hour building and working there.
To do that.
I remember me and Jack Klein's. We had a jackhammer out there, one of them run off in Mount Arker, and a friend of mine, I can't tell who it was, but I need some dynamite.
Yeah.
And back in, if they caught you with dynamite now, you'd be in bad trouble. But anyway, he told me, he said, he was over construction outfit. He told me, he said, you go behind a certain building this evening, said, you'll find a case sitting back there. It's got something in it.
Right.
And said, you get it. I said, okay.
Yeah.
And I went back there. Just as he told me, that case was there.
Right.
Me and old Jack, we got over and we used that jackhammer. And we got the footer shot out.
Well, I think that's cool. Okay. All right. Let's think about this then, okay?
Okay.
And I know this is a hard one too, okay? If I said today, Charlie, what do you really think you need to change in your life to be better? And I know we talk, it doesn't matter if you're 6 or 106.
Yeah.
Okay? We're all looking to be better and
Yeah.
to make changes. But I mean, what could you do? What could you do to improve Charlie Absher? You do.
To me, to improve me,
Yeah.
I think.
Outside of having better friends.
Yeah, I've got, yeah, to make me a better person, you know, I think I need to probably maybe communicate a little bit more with more people right now, you know, because I'm getting older.
Yeah.
And I don't want to die by myself, you know.
Right. Right.
And I think communication with other people would be better for me right now at this phase in my life.
Yeah.
Because I keep a lot of things on the inside.
Right.
And that's what happens to us, see. We keep them on the inside.
Yeah.
Nobody to share stuff with, because you think that they don't care, and you think that some people don't want to listen.
Right.
But they do. There's people that I'll listen to people.
Yeah.
And you will too.
Yeah.
And there's things that you need to share with other people, especially when you get older, because you don't get around as good. You can't get across a log to go hunting, and you can't wade the creek because you fall in. I promise you lose your balance, and and you gotta kind of adapt with the time. But communication with other people and
Yeah.
doing stuff, being around somebody right now, that's probably the best thing.
I think
that's what happens. I mean, I think a lot of people, as you get older, you will get and want to be around different people because
the world gets smaller.
Yeah, it gets smaller because most of my friends died. I mean, really,
How big was your world? Do you think at the time when you were selling cars, building houses, I mean, going to the races?
Yeah.
I mean, how big was your world at that time?
God, I just.
How many people did you come in contact with, and how many people knew you, and how many people? I mean, you know, but your world becomes smaller if you're not careful.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think some of that's natural.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my world got so big, man. I was making money, all kinds of money then. I mean, you know, was selling houses, selling cars, was doing everything, and money money was flowing. You could do it.
Yeah.
And then as things come in, as you kind of get older, and things begin to slow down, and you begin to slow down too.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back down to the one man deal, you know, one man thing, and those things don't matter no more. I couldn't even tell you who won a race.
I tell you what, I have a problem with, Charlie, and as long like what you're talking about, I'm not as ambitious as I used to be.
No, you don't care now because you're starting to unwind. So you realize, you start setting your priorities in order.
Yeah.
You start getting rid of stuff that you don't need.
Right.
Me and you both have done that.
Yes, sir.
The one we don't need to pay tax on all this stuff.
No.
I realize, I mean, these places, we both got stuff, you know. We got stuff. I'm just gonna say stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But still, you don't need that.